But on top of that, when you see me, I was a very sad, hurting woman. Why was I hurting? Because I knew that's not the life I wanted. I had things, and you got to understand, some of you that have parents, I don't know you all. Some of you I do, but I don't know you all. But some of you, you don't know what your parents are going through or have been through or have allowed to come into their life to mess with the way that they would raise you. So, but God knew. And that's why he sent his only son. His only son. He was the only one that could come down on earth and walk the earth and resist all temptation, to go through all kind of pain and rejection and shame and all of that for each and every one of us. And you can't even fathom in your mind how that could be. Because if you don't know God and you don't accept him as your Lord and Savior, the only thing you're going to understand is you got a hard life, or you've been through a lot of stuff in your life. That's the only thing you're going to understand. You're not going to understand the things of God, because the Bible tells us that if you don't accept him in your life, you're not going to understand it. So there's no need, and that's why you see people always, well, what about Muslims, and what about this, and what about, and they got all this stuff they want to know about in their life. And that's okay, because we all are here seeking the truth. But I already know, because I remember back when I was a little girl, that I knew that even though God really blessed me with a good mom, I had a great mom. My dad was with us for a while, but then they wind up getting a divorce. But I had a mother that showed me great love. So as a child, we were really nurtured and taken care of, where I hear sadly a lot of people don't have a good family life. But I'm going to tell you something. If you have a mother and a father and they are really trying to take care of you, you are blessed. Because as all of y'all know in here, there's a lot of people, parents and stuff, are separating and divorcing, and some kids don't know their fathers, and there's a lot going on in this world. So if you have a good parent, you should be thanking God for that parent. You should thank God for that parent. And so getting back to forgiveness, let's see what God says about forgiveness. In Ephesians 4:3, he says, and be you kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, meaning be quick to forgive. How many has ever got mad and you held on to that mad and you had a reason to be mad? How many ever got mad? I got mad before. And I'm going to tell you, the way I used to be, I might not forgive you either. And didn't care. I'm going to be honest. And sometimes I still have that. Maybe my husband, every now and then, it's a blue moon when we, get in, I get irritated with him or he get irritated with me. We hardly ever argue. But there are times, we ain't perfect now. We ain't perfect. But sometimes he get on my nerves and sometimes I get on his nerves. And sometimes I don't want to say, I forgive you. Sometimes my family, my kids, a co-worker at work get on my nerves. But see, what God teaches us to do is forgive that person. Because what he'll do is he'll continue to mess with you. He'll continue, you need to say I'm sorry. You need to stop that. And you need to be, you ever heard that term? You need to be the bigger one. Sometimes you don't want to be the bigger one. I don't be wanting to be the bigger one sometimes, because a lot of times, and that's called the flesh, where you don't want to. Just you don't want to. Anybody ever felt like I don't want to?
Amen.
I know I'm wrong. I know I did this, but I don't want to. How about that? Right? Yeah. Sometimes you just don't want to, but God helps you to forgive. And getting back to Joyce Myers and her dad, for all those years she was abused, and she said she was angry, like she could cut you up with her mouth. You ever seen people that can, they can just wow you out with their mouth? She was like that. But she was angry because that was going on. Her mother wasn't listening to her. Her dad was disgusting. I can't even imagine, because I remember when I was a young girl, to even go with a guy sound disgusting to me. So I can't even imagine being a little girl going through that. But there's millions of people going through that. And things like that, and things worse than that. But it took God to help her to get over. What am I saying to you, each of you today? It takes God to help you. Sometimes people can talk to you and it's cool. But sometimes, like when you lose a family member, or when somebody did something real bad to you, sometimes can't nobody help you but God. Nobody. And I can't even explain to you how he does it, because that's his business, not mine. All I know is I have been angry. And because I am a child of God, he helped me to deal with that anger. How did he help me to deal with it? He said, come to me, bring it before me. How do I bring it before him? I go to him in prayer and say, God, and I'll be real just like I am with you. I'll be real with him and saying, God, this happened to me and this happened, and I just don't feel like, it's not right. And sometimes I'm in tears telling him, God, why is this happening to me? Why do I have to go through this? Why do we have to live like this? Why, my ex-husband, why did he have to be like this? Why did drugs come into my house? Why? But see, what he'll do is he'll take the very thing that messed you up and he'll raise you up. And you can't even see it. Just like, all of y'all seen your baby pictures, haven't you? You didn't see how you got this big. You look at that baby picture and you're like, that was me? Yeah. You didn't see you growing up. You didn't see it. Your parents ain't see you. All they do, they see you every day, and you might have seen them say every now and then, boy, you getting big. Girl, you getting big. But you didn't see it. You seen your brothers and sisters when they were little. You didn't see them growing up, but they were getting big all the time. And next thing you know, you're grown, and I'm looking at my grandsons and grandkids, and I'm like, I remember, because I used to take care of them, change diapers, give them bottles and everything, and look at them. They just grew on me one day. That's exactly the way God deals with you. Whatever you got, whatever you're going through, whatever seems to be so hard, he knows exactly how to fix it. So I can't tell you how it's fixed. All I know is just like you growing up. All of a sudden, it's there. I know there are things that I was going through and had going through in my life. And I was praying to God and learning about him and kept on going. Next thing I know, they were gone. And I'm saying that to you today. Forgiveness is huge. And it helps you to grow in God. It helps you to grow as a person. I've seen people, sadly, that had their life ended just because they didn't forgive. They couldn't let it go. No, I'm going. he did this to me. I'm going over there and I'm going to blow his head off. Next thing you know, they dead. You seeing it every day now. Every single day. Columbus, I lived long enough to know, Columbus was a time you would rarely hear about kids getting killed. Rarely. It happens every day now. Every day. Why do you think that is? I'm going to tell you one reason it is. The enemy is trying to kill all of y'all before y'all learn who Jesus is and what he really did for you. And some of you have no clue. I didn't have a clue how big this thing is because it's all spiritual. And it's not like your five senses. You can't see it, you can't touch it, you can't smell it, you can't hear it. None of that. This is a totally faith walk. And faith, you can't see it. So you're like, well, I'm supposed to believe. How am I supposed to believe that? How am I supposed to believe something that I've never seen? Well, you know, that's why he came and he put preachers and teachers and people in the way to show you that there's something greater than you can even imagine. And it's freely given. Don't cost you nothing. You know, I know there was a time, there was things that I was doing, and when I accepted the Lord, you think that you all of a sudden got to be this perfect person. Well, you can never be perfect. And people tell people, you got to be this and you got to be that. You can't do it. Let me ask this question. Have you ever tried to stop doing something? The more you try, the harder it was to stop. Am I right? Mm-hmm. Have you ever okay, I ain't smoking no more. I'm done with it. And the more you try to stop smoking, somebody might come right around there. Hey man, here you go. And you be like, no man, I'm quitting. I'm cool. You try that for a while. Next thing you know, somebody else calling. Next thing you know, you go over to somebody's house, smoke all in your face. You sitting there trying, and next thing you know, hey, you want some? Yeah, go ahead. Right? Am I right? You try to stop. But there's this, and the enemy